Hey everybody, welcome back to Dark Damon Arts. It's now been, I think, 2.5, almost 3 weeks since I originally recorded the last video doing the first part of pulling apart the roses and to start them on the drying process, and then I was taking 2 weeks off to go visit my family before I started school again. School starts actually this Saturday, so things are going to get a little hectic. There's going to be a difference in recording quality now too, because I got a new phone while I was on my vacation. I'm now using the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. And unfortunately, after I'm done with these two roses this time, things are going to slow down significantly for the channel, even more so than before. I'm hoping not to die out completely, but as of the 25th of September, I'm going to be moving into my own unit, two-bedroom apartment, but it means at the same time I'm not going to be able to use a lot of my power tools anymore because I won't have a quiet place to use them without disturbing everybody else. I'll do what I can, but I can't promise anything for crafts and such. What I can try and do though is some of the art, or not art, but challenges and stuff I want to do, like eating hot and spicy food, or if I get enough followers and they want to start recommending things they want to see me try and torture myself with, then I'm happy to do that. I just can't use a lot of my tools. I'm sorry if I look a little bit tired and frazzled. I've been up all night. When I came back from vacation, I had to go back to work on the night shift, so I had 3 night shifts. When I finish night shift, I stay up all day. It's the only way I can reset quickly without having to try for 3 days to sleep. So I stay up all day when I come off night shift, and then I go to bed by 9 or 10 p.m. And I usually sleep for about 8 to 10 hours, and I'm good. So, the roses are ready. I haven't taken them out of the silica yet. I just pulled the rose bins over, so I'm going to switch the camera over and show doing those. I'm just moving everything on my desk so I have room, but I wanted to get the video rolling so that we could see what's going to happen. So today's video is going to end up being a two-parter. The next part I'm not going to record myself doing an intro or anything like this. I'm just going to go down and I've got to cut the glass or the holes in the vases to run the wiring through for the lights. So that's going to be the next part. But for now, we're going to deal with the roses, get them taken out of the silica and set off to the side so that they can start just having all the excess silica fall out before we cast them. So here we go. And if one of the roses, unfortunately, the extra petals I put on top don't look like they cured too well. They just kind of shriveled instead of retaining any sort of shape. The yellow one's not too bad, but the purple ones, yeah, it doesn't look like they really held on very well. So I'm hoping the rose itself is held on better. And actually it looks like it has held on very well, which is awesome. Unfortunately, some of the leaves do appear to have folded in and flattened, but that's alright, I can deal with that. This yellow one is the one I'm most anticipating because it's the one for a friend of mine that I haven't seen in over 10 years. Unfortunately, I did learn something about the ones I've already done, and one of the downsides that's happening with them. Because of how I was wiring them with USB, where are they? They have just this little, the lights come with this. This is the control module for it, switch and everything. This is one that I cut off of one of the ones that stopped working. Unfortunately, what's happened is they run off of two of the flat CR2032 3-volt batteries. So for a max of 6 volts, or however the math for that is done. I wired them up. The USB works fine, but I only ever tested them on 5-volt power adapters or 5-volt USB batteries, so they worked fine. Unfortunately, a couple of the people, I sold one to a lady, or a friend of mine sold it in her art shack, and unfortunately, she must have plugged it into a 9-volt adapter for fast charging, because I guess it didn't even last 10 minutes after she plugged it in, and it just completely stopped working. The lights won't even turn on. And the very first one I did and gave to that same friend as a gift, hers had the same issue. I think she plugged it into a 9-volt adapter. Actually, I know she did because she showed me the adapter she was using, and it does 5 and 9 volt. So I think what happened is it was just too much power for those little LEDs, and it unfortunately burned the lights out. I took all the wiring apart in it, I tested them direct connection, I tested multiple different cables, and unfortunately none of it worked. So it left me to realize that I have to be really careful with what they're plugged into. So I spoke to the friend that the yellow rose is going to and let her know the situation. And she said she's fine with me just leaving it with the flat batteries. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave those flat batteries in it for her. And then I'll mail it off to her once it's finished. The purple one that I'm currently shaking out is, if I remember, I think I told everybody that it's going to be for a streamer I follow. I don't want to say anything in the video. I'd like, if by whatever chance she actually comes across my channel, I'd like it to be a surprise for her when she gets it. So yeah, but I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to leave the whole thing just wired for battery instead of USB. It sucks because it means that they now have to spend money to replace the batteries, but I would rather them have... You can get a pack of 3 or 4 from dollar stores for like $1. I would rather them have to do that than worry about burning the lights out. Alright, so those two are ready. I'll come back at them off camera with a brush and just brush a little bit more of the silica out of them and get them ready. But that's that for that part. I'm going to get set up, and then in the next little bit here I'm going to take the vases downstairs. I'll get set up there, and then I'll start recording for the second part where I drill the holes in them. I'm not going to have any audio on that video because it's using a rotary tool, so it's going to be loud, it's going to be high-pitched. Don't think you guys want to hear that through the camera. So I'll play the video for it, but that one won't have any audio. I might do some added commentary afterwards, we'll see. So welcome back for part 2. I know I said I wasn't going to do another intro, but I kind of need to just show the setup. So here's my rotary tool. My setup is all this. And then here are the vases. These are just cheap. I picked them up for $3 a piece from the dollar store. You saw the bottle of water there, and what that is for is to keep the glass chilled and wash all of the glass particulate that forms off of it as I drill. So you'll see that there's a small hole there, and that just, I loosen this, aim it where I want, and there we go. one hole drilled, and now onto the other. There's the second hole drilled. Nothing to it. Along with any other tools I use, I will post links to where I found them on Amazon when I finalize this video. You all have yourselves a great day. Tomorrow should be back again to start wiring and doing all that stuff.